Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Today, we're taking you to the Louisiana State Legislative Session, where LRPA is representing all the park systems of Louisiana. Our special guest is Randy Alvarez, a true legend in Louisiana Parks and Recreation. Having served multiple times as LRPA President and a longtime director, Randy has seen every facet of the industry. Join us as he discusses the recent resolution recognizing LRPA's 80th anniversary and the state's accredited park departments. Randy will share insights into the importance of parks and recreation and how they contribute to community health and well-being. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show, airing live from the Louisiana State Legislative Session of 2025. LRPA has the entire rotunda to themselves, where they're representing all the park systems of Louisiana as they pass laws, hopefully favorable to the park systems. But we have a special guest, Randy Alvarez. He's somewhat of a legend in Louisiana. He was multiple times the president of the association. He has been a director for many years, and then he was also a Musco rep and helped to light a lot of the fields throughout the state of Louisiana, and really has seen so many parts of Parks and Recreation, and has been pivotal in helping to grow the Louisiana Parks and Rec Association. And so we're here today, and they just had a special little presentation. Maybe, Randy, you can tell us a little bit about what just happened on the House floor.
Well, from the House floor, they just did a resolution recognizing LRPA, our 80th anniversary, and also our 3 accredited departments in the state of Louisiana, which are BREC in the Capital Region. And then we also have Nord in New Orleans and Caddo up in the Shreveport area of the state. It's very, it's an honor to get that accreditation, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's a testament to those departments to go through that process and to be accredited. So we congratulate all of them, and it's just an honor to be here today and be recognized by our legislature that they see the value in parks and recreation in our state, and that's the main reason we're here, very honestly.
Yeah. And I'm not sure a lot of people in Parks and Recreation understand the work that's done at the state association level. So a lot of times you'll attend your state association, they do an annual meeting, and you'll go there for your credits. But a lot of the work you don't see is the work they do trying to represent all parks and recs in that state at the legislative level. I've been told it's as much as a third of the efforts, manpower and money that they do for your state goes into making sure that the legislators are passing favorable laws and are keeping parks and recs in mind. Can you tell us anything about this event and what you've done for it, and as far, because this is an annual event that y'all have done, correct?
It's turned into an annual event, and it's so very important, as we all know in all of our states. Budgets are always, sometimes unfortunately, Parks and Rec budgets are the first to be cut. And by keeping us in the forefront and showing our value, those dollars stay there. And we're the state association, really and truthfully, is for those little bitty departments, those little small departments that don't have the big staff, that need the Parks Association to represent them. And by coming together in forces, it shows that their value. There's about 100 of us here today from different departments across the state. And when the legislature sees us all standing up there in the balcony, and then when the majority of our state representatives stand up and stand by that resolution, they all know the value. And when it comes a bill on the floor to cut some of those dollars, they usually say, no, I don't want to do that for my community. So it's very important to be noticed and stay out in front of all that.
Yeah. And so what can let's say you're in a park system, and for this event, what can you do aside from just obviously attend? This is an annual event for Louisiana, but how can you get more involved in the legislative process if you're a small park system?
Well, if you're a small park system, we always say it starts locally. And that's another reason we have such a big relationship with the Louisiana Municipal Association. Is a lot of our departments are not independent departments. They're part of municipal government. So by having that affiliate relationship with them, it all works together. It all ties in together. 90% of the people that just stood up on that floor, that representative, they back home, they're a volunteer coach. They're a mom or dad that has kids and programs at our local parks department. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
When we all partner together. We always say that we're better off in numbers, and that's so very important. None of us can do this by ourselves. And that's something we all need to remember, that don't try. He always says, well, what I get from being a member of LRPA? Well, today you see what it's about. It's the networking. It's these small departments can't afford to hire a marketing firm. They can't afford to hire lobbyists. But if you get involved with your state associations, we kind of do that for you. So be part of it is what I always tell people.
Yeah, I love that. And when you think about the legislative bodies of your state, it can be kind of intimidating. Like you said, if you're just a small park and rec department with just a few employees, but if you all are one big unit, one big family that come together, then I think that you can turn the legislative's heads. And especially since this hits so close to their communities and stuff, I wouldn't want to be known as the legislator that cut park budgets, at least out here.
That's right.
Yeah. Now,
because we will let the rest of everybody know that.
That's right. Y'all are in touch with the community for sure.
Yeah. And one thing is real important, we come together as a association, but we don't know, like, I'm right here in the Baton Rouge area. I don't always know the state rep or the state senator from Shreveport personally. So that's why it's very important for those local departments to reach out to their local representation. And then when they see us all together in force, it kind of gets home to them. So that's very important to do. Build those relationships. Even if you don't know who they are, call them up your first week on the job and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later they're going to call you, and you want them to call you about the good things, not about the bad things.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that don't know, Randy has been president of our Louisiana Rec and Park Association for twice. Is that correct, or is it
actually 3 times?
3 times.
I am the only elected 3-time president of the association. I told them that's it. We got to get some young blood.
Now you're tempting them. Don't
young
say
blood
that.
in here. As I'm looking at you and myself through this, I have seen how much I've aged over. But it's all good. It's like a fine wine. I feel like I've gotten better with time, and I love it. I've told you before, this is my passion. Parks and Rec has always been my passion. I've done other things the last few years, but when it comes down to it, I'm about the quality of life for our constituents and citizens. And I've always told my staffs over the years, what profession can you be in where you get paid to play every day?
I love it.
And so that's always been my motto, and that's how it should be. Parks and Rec is supposed to be fun. And if you make it fun, everything else falls into place.
Maybe speak a little bit about, or say a little bit more about how important it is to volunteer, to get involved and take those leadership positions with your state organization.
Well, volunteerism, as we all know, you can't do anything without volunteers. So none of us on this board get paid for what we do. We have one paid staff person, that's our executive director, and that's actually through a contract. But we're all volunteers, and I think the people we have on our board right now is because they feel the passion that I feel. They want to make a difference back at home, and that's why they get involved. And we need some of the younger blood coming up to get involved, because some of us are getting to that point where we're considering retirement. And I've recently told my wife that I don't think I'll ever retire. I don't necessarily want to always be working in the park every day. I want to enjoy some of those amenities that we provide for our citizens, and I do on a regular basis. But my dream is to sit on that beach one day and watch the waves roll in. But it's important. Get involved. You only get from things what you put into them.
Love
It's like the old pastor at church saying, everybody always goes to church and he said, well, I don't get anything out of coming to service or to the mass.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, well, what do you get? What do you put into it?
Yeah.
So it's always a two-way street.
Yeah. Now, this is a special year for Louisiana. This is our, what is it,
80th anniversary of our association,
Mm-hmm.
which is impressive. We're actually one of the oldest state affiliates of NRPA. One of our founding members of the association was a life member of NRPA. He passed away a couple of years ago, but another legend in our field, Mr. Eugene Young, who was the superintendent of BREC he worked at BREC over 50 years. I think he was superintendent over 30 years. Just a great man. He was actually my boss at one time in my career and a mentor. But it's those people that had the foresight to say, hey, we need this group to come together to be a voice for Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did. And now we're reaping the rewards 80 years later.
Yeah.
How many groups can say they've been around 80 years?
Not many. And
That's pretty
this is one of our great associations across America. And that is one of the reasons that we started the Daily Parks and Rec Show is to try to get that voice in this new digital age of social media, because Parks and Rec just has such a powerful why, such a powerful message that I feel like we just need to get out to more and more people so that you can consider this as a career path. Maybe you can speak to a little of the different careers that you've held within Parks and Recreation, because I know you've been on both the vendor side, you've been on the state association side, you've been a director yourself, and these are all different career paths and could pursue and have a very fulfilling life, still servicing Parks and Recreation.
Exactly. I one time in my life I wanted to be a coach, and that's the path I took, kinesiology path. And a lot of Parks and Rec folks have taken that path. And I love that. I got to do a little bit of coaching early on in my life, but then I realized I got a part-time job actually working for BREC right here in Baton Rouge, and something clicked. That light bulb went off, and luckily I had some people kind of pushing me that way, mentors that saw something in me and said, hey, Randy, I really think you'd be good at this. And I took the road less traveled kind of thing. Took that. No, there's no straight paths in life. Taking that not only been a director, an executive director, a coach, I've worked on the private side. And as you mentioned, we'll give years, and that was awesome because I got to help build and design athletic lighting Southwest region, and we did everything from professional facilities all the way down to local. Relationship is different. It doesn't matter if it's the president of the New Orleans Saints or the mayor of Walker, Louisiana. It's always. And luckily I had a family that taught me early in my life that every person advantage of it and make the most of it. So
now, a lot of Parks and Rec directors, after they semi-retire, transition into working for one of the vendors that serve, and there really is, almost second to none. Musco is one of the big vendors, always sponsoring all things Parks and Recreation. What was it like transitioning from a director to be networking among your former peers?
It's a natural fit, of course, and the relation. Realize the value in some of us old guys that we have built those relationships over the years, and we do know a lot of people. it's not a perfect world whatsoever, but if you like talking like we're doing now, perfect next step in careers. We got a lot of people also that go into consulting, a lot of into lobbying, because it is a very important of value. Not only must go. Right now, I'm currently with a playground company, Kincaid Recreation. I'll give them a shout out.
Yeah,
and it's Tracy Kincaid is a gentleman that he's part of our commercial.
first vendor I ever met when I got, I guess, almost a decade ago when I first got into Parks and Recreation.
But Tracy's just his real job, but he's also a very passionate about his hometown he lives in. He's trying to revitalize Livingston, Texas, where he lives, trying to do a lot of relationships. I get back to relationships a lot. You know, our profession is one that you never know when a child that you took that extra step to recognize when they were very young will come up to you as an adult one day. And I've had this happen. That's why I'm mentioning it, and say thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for volunteering, being my coach.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping build that ball field in our community. Just thank you for being the person you are. And I get a little emotional with that. And that's what I realize is that, you know, be that children later on in life.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. And typically they're a lot bigger when they come find you.
Yeah.
You'll be coaching them when they're 5, and then they grow about
5 when he came up to you.
I've had that happen to me too. Shout out to everyone coaching. And a lot of times in Parks and Recreation, you're providing a lot of value and transmitting a lot of generational wisdom right there on the little baseball field. And don't underestimate the value you're providing for that little child's life.
Yes.
So maybe the last message we can, if let's say you're speaking to a group of college kids that are yet undecided to what industry they'd like to dedicate their life to, what kind of may want to dedicate their career to?
If you want a fulfilling career, if you want something where you're going to make a difference in your community, you want to do something where it's passionate and you can truly see results, I would ask you to consider Parks and Rec. Like I said earlier, my motto has always been, we get paid to play, but play in a professional way, play the right way, teach the right way, and honestly, just you can see results. You can see results not only through relationship, you see results in facilities you build, you see results in programs that you make successful in your community. And at the end of the day, we all want jobs where when we go home, we feel like we made a difference that day. And Parks and Rec will do that for you. And not everybody can be the director from day one. I'm very honest with a lot of college kids that ask me, you're not going to be the boss on day one, but if you're willing, someone like me who had no idea he wanted to be in this profession, if you're willing, I got this man asking me to talk to him today. So I appreciate the opportunity. And to all my colleagues out there, just keep up the fight and do the best you can.
Fantastic. So now our closing little commercial we're going to run is for our Young Professionals Network. And so if you're a young professional or a college student looking for Parks and Rec degrees, and last population is if you have a strong internship program in your Park and Rec department that you're proud of, we have a Friday show every Friday, 52 shows a year dedicated to only young professionals in the Parks and Rec profession. So we have a show dedicated to you. We would love to highlight your program. If you have a good internship program, if you're a professor and would like to bring on a couple of your students, we've had some really good professors and really good directors that are very proud of their young professionals. And we have, of course, the president, Molly Keys. She's president of the Young Professionals Network for NRPA this year, and a whole group of young professionals. So love to have you all on the show. And Randy, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all you've done for LRPA. And love having you here.
Thank you, Craig. I know you've been after me for a few months now to come talk to you, and I'm always blowing and going, but thank you so much for doing this for us.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll get you back on the show doing in-depth. I mean, Randy's got so much wisdom in this industry, and so I'd love to make more content with him, because if we're trying to share some of the best messages in Parks and Rec and tap into that wisdom that you attain over decades of experience, Randy's definitely one of our all-stars here. So appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
The future of parks and recreation is here, and it starts with you. Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Recreation Show, where we bring you the latest insights, trends, and conversations shaping the world of parks and recreation. Today, we're diving into something that's shaping the future of our industry: Young Professional Networks, or YPN. If you love your job and love the parks and recreation community and are looking to connect with the next generation of leaders, this episode is for you. YPN is where driven, passionate professionals come together to connect, grow, and make a real impact. It's not just about networking, it's about building the future of our communities. Why join YPN? Career growth and mentorship. Learn from the best in the industry. Innovative ideas and collaboration. Be part of the next big movement. Leadership development. Take charge, make decisions, and create change. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your career to the next level, YPN is your gateway to success. From exclusive networking opportunities to cutting-edge industry insights, this is where you build your legacy. Because the future of parks and recreation starts with you.